Hey everyone, thanks for stopping in again on my channel. I am working on this new thing that I've kind of started. It's the Traveler's Notebook Snail Mail, and in my previous video I showed you how to create the envelope that you can mail this notebook in and use it to write back and forth between some pen pals. So I've just gone through my stash a little bit and picked out some vintage ephemera, some not so vintage ephemera, just like the Tim Holtz and Seven Gypsies packs that I've been finding at Tuesday Morning. And I think this sticker right here was just from an old sticker sheet that this was the only thing that I had left and I wanted to get it used up. So, and like I said, in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how I'm going to be decorating the cover of this notebook and how I'm decorating the pages before I actually start my letter. I find it easier in my journaling, in my planners, and my traveler's notebooks. It flows easier for me if the page is already kind of pre-decorated and I could just go in and write afterwards. So that's what I'm doing. I'm showing you guys how I'm decorating the notebooks and how I want to decorate the pages to write my letter in. So like I said before, the idea of these notebooks is to be able to write your letters to your pen pal and have them respond to that letter in the notebook back and forth until the notebook is completely filled up. And what you've got is this notebook of all the correspondence that you might have had with this certain pen pal. Just because I tend to forget a lot, and once I get those letters, I put them in a box and I kind of forget about them, and I forget when birthdays are, or I forget, what the children's names are, or what they might do for a living. When you've got, 10 plus pen pals, that take a long time to get responses because they might be international, you tend to tend to forget. So that's the main idea for me behind this is everything is in this notebook. I can refer back to if I end up getting the notebook back. It depends on who fills up the notebook last. So what I just did there was I used a glassine envelope that I got from the post office that they put my stamps in. I just taped it into the front cover of the book so I can put pieces of ephemera or stamps or just any loose items that I want to send to the person receiving the notebook so they can take it out and keep it or use it in their response or just put it into their stash. Just a cute little way to put pieces of ephemera into the notebook and have it just be this collection of stuff if you want it. So, and then after that, what I did is I put a piece of 12 by 12 paper that I had in my stash, cut it down to size, and put it on the back of the title page of the notebook because it's a different color than the paper inside the notebook, and because I feel like I felt like I just wanted to kind of cover it up because I knew I didn't want to write on the back of that title page, so there was no point of leaving it blank, and I thought that paper was cute and went for the vintage kind of vibe I'm going for, and I thought I liked it. Right now, I'm using a piece of very old vintage book paper, and this actually is one solid piece of paper that opens up. So I'm going to tape it in to the part of where I know I'm going to be writing my letter. That way I can decorate this and put photos inside of it so that the person receiving this can kind of get an idea of what I look like and what my family might look like. Just something simple like that. I'm just going to decorate around it. I'm going to decorate the front of it and I don't know if I decorate the back of it. I'm not sure, but it's just an added textural piece that they can flip and look inside of, and it's got that cool vintage vibe. And I totally ripped that floral piece. That piece of paper is probably from the 50s at least, and when I tried to put the adhesive on it, it just tore right in half, but I was taping it down anyway, so it didn't bother me. I wanted to put that piece in, but I just felt like it would have been too much and too bulky, so I opt to just put some of down these vintage travel-y, stampy stickers that were in my stash again. The great thing about this is that this is a stash buster. You're getting to decorate these notebooks and getting ready to, or being able to kind of decorate these pages. I cannot speak today, but yeah, for me, it's a stash buster. I can just pull all of this old stuff out. I've got so much vintage paper and vintage ephemera and just stuff that I've collected from our antique shops. I've just got so much of it sitting around that I want to hold on to, and I want to use it for projects, but I don't have anything to use it on right now, and this is just a great way for me to kind of use that. So I pulled out my cell phone so that I could look up this person's name and address so that I could spell everything correctly, because her Instagram account isn't her name. So we had been messaging back and forth on Instagram, and I wanted to make sure that I was spelling her name right, because I'm going to show you how I'm going to start this letter. And I wanted to use my dip pen. I think this is a speedball dip pen that I had picked up in Tampa when I went, and I accidentally put a comma there, but I was like, okay, whatever, I'll just let it slide. You're not supposed to put the comma until after the name. And then it started to bleed a little bit. It started to feather really badly, and some of the downstrokes, the ink was pooling really bad, and it wasn't drying because of the pooling. So I was like, okay, well, let me put the date on this so that I can just try to let this dry, and it just wasn't drying. So, and I needed to work on something else. So I'm looking at it and seeing what I could do, and you can see how it's kind of bleeding through to the other side. So I'm searching desperately for something to decorate this front piece with, because there's really not much else I wanted to add to this page, but I couldn't turn it because I was waiting for that ink to dry. So I ended up finding that old ripped piece of paper that I had used for the cover, and I put it down to kind of pull up some of that ink, and then I could turn the page and start working on this cover title page for this Travelers Company insert. And I don't love the way this turned out. I couldn't find the pen I was looking for. You could see me kind of off screen looking desperately for something, and I ended up just pulling out one of my brown Staedtler pens, and I actually like the brown better. I was looking for my black one, but I couldn't find it. And once I started using the brown one, I actually didn't hate the way that it turned out. It's just that I didn't think that the words were going to fit properly, so I didn't, I just don't like the way it came out. I'm sure that you guys are looking at it and, you know, thinking that it looks fine, but the perfectionist in me is just not pleased with the way that it turned out. So I'm looking through my phone again to make sure that I get the spelling right. I think she lives in Beijing, and so the names are kind of tricky. There's a lot of extra U's and Z's, and I wanted to make sure that I did that right. And you can see here that the paper stuck to the ink as it was drying, and turned it into glue basically, and just made it look terrible. So now I'm looking for ways to cover this up, and I ended up just pulling off this sticker and sticking it down, but I had already stuck a sticker behind it, and I didn't want to waste that sticker, so I had to pull that up. Oh, the hoarder in me. I can't let go of anything. So yeah, I'm going to start off a new line and just not try to get fancy and just use my Staedtler pen, and then the ink bled through to the other side, so now I've got to cover this up, which, you know, is fine. Like I said, this is a stash buster. The more I can get on the paper, the better. I just wanted it to not look so crowded. I wanted it to be a little more cohesive, and in the end, I like the end result, and I like the way that it turned out. So right now I'm just using some of this old Heidi Swapp washi that I've had in my stash forever. It's a really thick washi, and it's from Michaels, so there wasn't very much on the roll, and I really like the washi, but I just didn't I haven't been able to justify a use for it because it is so pretty, and not much came on these rolls at all. None of Heidi Swapp's washis come with a lot on the roll, so I was trying to make sure that I put it on carefully and sparingly. So I just fast forward that a little bit so you didn't have to see me cut all of that off the side of the page, and I've just chosen some other ephemera to kind of glue to the front of this notebook. I just felt like it needed something. So I think all of this ephemera is from this K & Company brand that I found from Tuesday Morning. It's either K & Company and some Tim Holtz, or just K & Company, I'm not sure. So I'm just gluing all of this down and trying to make the layering look okay, and in the end, I get it the way I like it, and I really like how this turned up. So I hope that you are enjoying this process. I hope that you're getting inspired. I hope that this idea is going to change the way people send mail. I think sending mail is really important. I love the pen pals that I have, and I've been getting more and more requests since I've put this out in the world, and I hope that people like it, and I hope they start doing it. Until next time, guys, that's it. Thanks for stopping by. Bye.